அவை மயிலாடுதுறை, திருக்கடவூர், வைத்தீஸ்வரன் கோயில், சிதம்பரம் போன்ற தலங்களில் ஆங்கில வழி கல்வியிலேயும் பல மாணவர்கள் பயின்று வருகிறார்கள். அதனைத் தொடர்ந்து தமிழ் வழி கல்வியும் இங்கே தொடக்கப்பள்ளி முதலாக கல்லூரி, தமிழ் கல்லூரியாக இருந்ததும் இன்றைக்கு கலைக்கல்லூரியாக மாற்றப்பட்டு பல துறைகளும் அங்கே கொண்டு வரப்பட்டிருக்கிறது. அவ்வகையில் சைவ சித்தாந்தம் நம்முடைய ஆதீனத்தினுடைய தம்பிரான்கள் என்ன செய்கிறார்கள் என்று மன்னர், கர்நாடக மன்னர் கேட்கின்ற போது சம்பந்தர் சரணாலயர் சொன்னார், தன்னுடைய ஆசிரியனுடைய உத்தரவின்படி ஆய்வார் பதிபசுபாசத்தின் உண்மையை ஆய்ந்தறிந்து காய்வார் பிரபஞ்ச வாழ்க்கை எல்லாம் என்று அந்த பாடலை சொன்ன பிறகு இந்த மடத்திற்காக பல நிதி நிபந்தங்களை மன்னர் கொடுத்திருக்கின்றார். இந்த மடம் தருமபுர ஆதீன மடம் ஞானப்பிரகாச மடாலயம் என்றே சொல்லப்படுகிறது. இங்கே சைவ சித்தாந்தத்தை இங்கே இருக்கின்ற தம்பிரான்களோ அல்லது அடியவர்களோ அன்பர்களோ மட்டும் படிக்கவில்லை. இங்கே இருக்கின்ற பள்ளிகள் கூட கவுளிகள் பேசுகின்ற, அது பள்ளிகள் சொல்லுகின்ற போது கூட பதிபசுபாசத்தின் உண்மையை பேசி கொண்டிருக்கின்றன என்று ஞானப்பிரகாச மாலையிலே சொல்லப்பட்டுகிறது. அந்த வகையிலே இன்றைக்கு தேவைக்கு ஏற்றவாறு அவ்வப்போது ஒவ்வொரு நலன்களையும் நம்முடைய தர்மயாதீனம் தேர்ந்தெடுத்து அவைகளை கொடுப்பது ஆதீனத்தினுடைய வழக்கத்தின்படி இருக்கிறது. இன்றைக்கு சைவ சித்தாந்தம் மிக எளிய நிலையிலே அவற்றை கொண்டு போய் மக்களுக்கு சேர்க்க வேண்டும் என்கின்ற எண்ணத்தோடு இதை ஆரம்பித்திருக்கிறார்கள். இது மிக எளிமையான முறையிலே அவர்கள் பயிற்றுவிப்பார்கள். இதற்காக வாரத்திலே நம்முடைய நித்தம் நம்முடைய ஆதீனத்தின் சார்பிலே என்றும் இன்பம் தழைக்க இருக்கலாம் என்கின்ற நிகழ்விலே ஒவ்வொரு நாளைக்கு ஒவ்வொரு பொருள் குறித்து பேசப்படுகிறது. அதாவது திருமுறை, இசை, உரை விளக்கம், சாத்திரம், வேத ஆகமங்கள், திருக்கோயில்கள் பற்றியது, கலை, பண்பாடு, பாரம்பரியம் இவைகளை பற்றியது என்று பல துறைகளில் இருந்தாலும் அந்த வகையிலே அதிலே ஒவ்வொரு வாரமும் 2 நாட்கள் ஆங்கில வழியிலே இங்கே கற்பிக்கப்படுகிறது. அதற்காக நம்முடைய இணைப்பு நெறியாளராக அருணை பாலராவாயன் அவர்களும், பாடம் எடுப்பதற்கு மதிவேலாயுதம் அவர்கள், சிங்கப்பூரில் இருந்து டாக்டர் சுபோதினி அவர்களும், செந்தில்குமரன் இருவரும் ஆங்கில வழியிலே சிங்கப்பூரில் இருந்து அவர்கள் பாடம் எடுக்கிறார்கள். இங்கே பொறியாளராக விளங்குகின்ற மதுசூதனன் அவர்களும் இந்த 4 இதனை நெறிப்படுத்தி அவர்கள் எளிமையாக இந்த பாடங்களை எடுக்க இருக்கிறார்கள். ஆங்கிலம் நமக்கு இன்றைக்கு தேவையான மொழியாக அமைந்திருப்பதை உணர்ந்து மக்களுக்கு இதை கொள்வோன் கொள்வகை அறிந்து அவன் உளங்கொள கொடுத்தல் முறை என்ற நன்னூல் சூத்திரத்திற்கு இணங்க அவற்றை செயல்படுத்துகிறது. நம்முடைய உலகத்தில் உள்ள அன்பர்கள் அனைவரும் ஆங்கில வழியில் கல்வி பயில்வதற்கு இது ஒரு நல்ல திட்டமாக பலரும் ஏற்றுக்கொண்டிருக்கிறார்கள். அன்பர்கள் இதனை கண்டும் கேட்டும் இணைந்தும் அதில் பங்கு பெறுமாறு விரும்புகின்றோம். இது சித்தாந்தம் என்பது நம்முடைய சாத்திரத்தினுடைய ஒரு பிழிவு. இதை முதலாவதாக நமக்கு திருவருட்பயன், உண்மை விளக்கம் இப்படி தான் கொண்டு போவார்கள். இந்த நூல்களை எல்லாமே நம்முடைய ஆதீனத்தில் உரையும் ஆங்கில வழி உரையும் செய்திருக்கிறார்கள். அது நம்முடைய முன்னோர்கள் போட்ட பாதையை நாம் இன்றைக்கு புதுப்பிக்கின்றோம். அது இன்றைய நன்னாளிலே அதற்குரிய நிலையை தொடங்கப்பட்டிருக்கிறது. இந்த வழி தொடர்பு கொள்கின்றவர்கள் இதில் ஏதேனும் சந்தேகங்கள் அவற்றை பற்றி இருப்பின் அவற்றை நம்முடைய பாண்டிச்சேரி சைவ சித்தாந்த வகுப்பு ஆசிரியராக விளங்குகின்ற ஓதுவார் அன்பர்கள் அனைவருக்கும் நமது நல்லாசி.
பார்வதி பதையே அரகர மகாதேவா. தென்னாருடைய சிவனே போற்றி, நாட்டவர்க்கும் இறைவா போற்றி. சிற்றம்பலம். அது கண்டினியூ ஆகி
சோமு.
Now, may I invite our coordinator, Dharumayadina Pulavar, Dr. Arunai Palaravayan Ayya, to deliver welcome address.
தென்னாடுடைய சிவனே போற்றி, எந்நாட்டவர்க்கும் இறைவா போற்றி. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to everybody. As a coordinator of the online study of Saiva Siththantham, it is my pleasure and prestige to have been asked to propose a welcoming address on the eve of the inaugural function of Saiva Siththantham classes offered course in English through online study for the benefit of non-Tamil scholars. At the outset, with all my sincerity, I bow my head at the lotus feet of His Holiness, our Nakshatra Gurumani, Sri Sri Guruvaga Sannidhanam, for his untiring efforts and enthusiasm to promote and spread Saiva Siththantham worldwide. The idea was pioneered and developed by 26th Magasannidhanam, and it was materialized later. He was the founder of the International Saiva Siththantham Research Center, and he was one who pondered over the idea of bringing out our Vaikunta Sathirangal, translated into English language. This tenuous work was assigned to the scholar, Mr. T.N. Ramachandran, then director of the International Saiva Siththantham Research Center, which is now functioning at DHARUMAPURAM ADHEENAM. Mr. T.N. Ramachandran has rendered yeoman service to Saiva Siththantham in his period, and he has translated almost all Vaikunta Sathirangal. Their translation texts are now available in the research center. Those were published and now it is available. The English version of Vaikunta Sathirangal would be prescribed as a study materials for the benefit of the students joining this course. His Holiness Nakshatra Gurumani is following the footsteps of his esteemed revered Guru, undertaking many challenges and trying to win over them. Mere words are not suffice to express our gratitude to His Holiness Nakshatra Gurumani for his excellent works in all aspects, and we are proud to say his many dreams come true. His Holiness undoubtedly a religious person and leader, but he seems to be a social worker, academician, temple preserver, harmonious combination of all good qualities, and above all, a humanitarian. As all we, the disciples of DHARUMAPURAM ADHEENAM, know that our His Holiness is not conservative. He is willing to utilize the modern way of teaching methodology and technology. He is accessible to all emerging modernity and he is flexible to adapt the modern technique of online classes. Needless to say that the study of Saiva Siththantham is very useful to understand our own culture and philosophy. This school of philosophy is a way of life. It is logically discussed. I would like to quote a text from Sitthantha Gnanabodham, K. Vijayaramalaya, Savijnana Bhashyam. Saiva Sitthanta is a way of life which believes in the existence of a primal being, preferably called by the traditional name Shiva. The term Shiva means the auspicious and connotes the immutable consciousness, this bliss. The history of Tamil Nadu and culture is exciting and amazing. Tamil language with its grammar, methodical. Saivism is practical, and Saiva Siddhantam is unique and logical. There was a time that Saiva Siddhantam is understandable only by an elite group. In those days, our philosophical truths were not exposed to common people. They also hesitated to learn philosophy because philosophy is abstract and not very much useful to our modern world and modern material life. Now, the days are changed. People who are settled down in foreign countries show interest to learn Tamil language, Saivism, and Saiva Siddhantam. The study of Vedantam is popularized, but our Tamil philosophy, Saiva Siddhantam, has not yet been introduced even to our own Tamil community because they are in different atmosphere. They become alien to our religion and culture because of the atmosphere they live today. Gurumukha Sannidhanam is kind enough to provide online study, especially for those who live in abroad countries. At this juncture, I would like to say my opinion that this offer is a great boon to non-Tamil scholars to understand Saiva Siddhantam in a traditional way. I don't deny the fact that the knowledge in Tamil language and grammar are essential to understand the nuances of Saiva Siddhantam. However, it is a proven one that English language is versatile and crisp for learning the basics of Saiva Siddhantam. Since the efforts have already been put by the scholar, English translation texts are now available. Our research institution provides online classes facility to the students. They will get study materials, competent scholars to impart the excellences of subject, periodical discussions with teaching faculty members will be provided to the students. I cordially invite all of you to make this golden opportunity, to make use of this golden opportunity and enroll your names in the institution. The date of commencement of the classes, names of teaching faculty members, subject to the dot, contact address, mobile number, class link ID, all will be intimated soon for the further inquiries. Once again, I express my gratitude to Gurumukha Sannidhanam for opening the gateway of the castle Saiva Siddhantam and enabling all of us to get benefited I request the lovers of Saiva Siththantham philosophy are immediately to join as students in the esteemed institution to know the eternal truth, to redeem our bondage, to get salvation. Above all, ecstasy is awaiting. The institute has made all arrangements to record the classes taken, and recorded audio-visual will be uploaded regularly. Sivanarul will lead us to enlightenment. Thank you all and wish you all success.
Now, I invite our guest lecturer, Mrs. Madhi Velayudham, to deliver the address.
Foremost, I invoke God Almighty's blessings to start this work and complete it successfully. I submit humbly my obeisance on the holy feet of our revered Adheenam on his birthday. It's my pleasure to be a part of the great undertaking of conducting Saiva Siddhanta classes. English, being its medium of instruction, gives a new look to it. It's my real privilege and my pleasure. I am proud to inform you all that I was a student in the first batch of Kailai Gurumani Kanagabhisheka Ninaivu Malai Nera Kalluri Saiva Siddhanta classes conducted 34 years ago. And I was the first batch. And we had the pattern of the syllabus was almost the same as we have now. At the end of the first year, we as students wrote an exam just like any other college student without books. And when we passed out with distinction or with any marks, we were bestowed with the title Saiva Siddhanta Ilam Pulavar, as we have now in this year also. And then if we pass our second year, we were bestowed with the title Saiva Siddhanta Pulavar. And to make it a little bit higher in level, third and fourth year together, we completed our syllabus and then wrote an exam. And after that, we got the title. We were blessed with the title Saiva Siddhanta Kalanidhi. It was a great honor that I was one among those students who continued learning Saiva Siddhanta in Kailai Gurumani Kanagabhisheka Ninaivu Malai Nera Saiva Siddhanta Kalluri. We were honored with Saiva Siddhanta Kalanidhi title. I was blessed to finish those 5 years. I feel very happy to recall those years of learning Saiva Siddhantam in Tamil. At that time, I heard that English was also a medium of instruction for in certain centers. If I recall properly, there were many centers and I attended the center in Tirunelveli. And now I am happy to witness its revival after 3.5 decades once again. And we are happy to be a part of it. It's a great blessing for me and I am honored. Then we people are undergoing so many things, miseries, problems, poverty prevail everywhere in the world. People enjoy some happiness even among such sorrowful situations. It's natural for all of us to muse about why do we suffer and why do we enjoy. Some are always suffering and some are always enjoying. We don't know the reason for these two questions. We come across millions of such $1 million questions. We can't find out the real answer. But are we able to get it? We are not able to get the real answers for these questions. As far as I know, we don't get it. But if you are blessed to learn Saiva Siddhanta, we will be able to find out the real answers for all those questions. Yes, Saiva Siddhanta answers all the questions clearly. We get clear answers for the questions like, why do we suffer? Who controls everything in the universe? Who avoids chaos in the Milky Way? Who renders a helping hand to the sufferers? When can one reach eternal bliss? Because we have seen people and some books talking about eternal bliss. Everybody wants bliss. And if it is eternal, then it's a degree above everything, isn't it? And so we have that question. When can we go? How can we go? And so on and so forth, our question goes on. And these questions can be answered if we are able to go through Saiva Siddhanta, the books that render help. All the books that are given to us by our great people, saints and the benefactors, they give us ideas. They teach us Saiva Siddhanta in one way or other. They are of different genres. All the books, the literature, the Saiva literature have lots and lots of genres, and we can choose, we can learn what we want. We can start with the easiest one and then step up in that ladder and reach a highest level. And then by and by, you will be able to understand, you will be able to answer all these questions. It's a real boon for us to have Saiva Siddhanta classes, even with English as the medium of instructions. It tries to reach people who can't comprehend the ideas and books of our great benefactors, of our great saints about Lord Shiva's benevolent grace. So if people felt till now, we can't understand whatever that is given, just because we have the language problem, we have this blessed way to be taught in English so that everyone can understand what is given, what is the great idea that is found in Saiva Siddhanta. The concept will show you the correct path. The concept will help you to lead an honest, honorable, straight way of life. And it helps us even in little tasks that we take, little tasks that we do in our daily life. So Saiva Siddhanta is a way of life also. It shows the way of correct life also. They guide us, instruct us, pilot us, counsel us, advise us, lead us, show us the generous path, the glorious path, the glorious and the excellent path towards the celestial bliss in the feet of God Almighty. This course will enable you, the participants, to get introduced to the enormous collection of books, all based on Saiva Siddhanta. Start comprehending, learning, enjoying, following them, and then I hope one day you should be able to learn the original works of our benefactors, our saints, so that you can enjoy them completely. It's this type of class, English with its medium of instruction, you can be introduced to all those wonderful work, and later on you can enjoy them in their original works given by our saints. I humbly submit my regards on the holy feet of our Adheenam, revered Adheenam, and I bid my farewell for this speech. And it's my pleasure, and I am waiting eagerly to meet all the students in this course. Thank you.
Now I invite our second lecturer, Dr. Subodhini Chinnathambi, to deliver her speech.
தென்னாடுடைய சிவனே போற்றி, எந்நாட்டவர்க்கும் இறைவா போற்றி. எல்லாம் வல்ல தோணியப்பர் திருவடிகளை மனம் மொழி மெய்களால் வணங்குகிறேன். முதற்கண் தருமை ஆதீனம் ஸ்ரீலஸ்ரீ குரு மகா சந்நிதானம் அவர்களின் பொன்னார் திருவடிகளை மனம் மொழி மெய்களால் திசை நோக்கி வணங்குகிறேன். I prostrate at the feet of Lord Thoniapar, invoking his blessings with my mind, speech and actions. I prostrate at the golden feet of His Holiness Dharmayadinam Srila Sri Guru Maha Sannidhanam, invoking his blessings with my mind, speech and actions. Dear devotees, today on the auspicious Janma Nakshatra day of Guru Maha Sannidhanam, we are blessed to partake in the inauguration of the English arm of Saiva Siththantham teachings to be conducted by the DHARUMAPURAM ADHEENAM. It is indeed a great honor to be given the opportunity to be part of the faculty. Words just cannot describe how privileged I feel. I just pray that with Emberuman Lord Shiva's grace, I will be able to do justice to the task that has been bestowed upon me. I would like to give you a little bit of a background about myself. I am a pediatrician by profession and run a private clinic in Singapore. I did my medical training in the UK, where I spent 20 years before returning home to Singapore in 2007. Whilst in the UK, I started developing a yearning to learn more about the philosophy of my religion, which I used to know as Hinduism. Everywhere I looked, I could only find Vedanta texts which somehow did not appeal to me. On returning to Singapore, it was really as if my wish were granted when I was given the golden opportunity to follow Saiva Siththantham classes in the Senbaha Vinayagar temple in Singapore. At the very first lesson, hearing basic tenets of Saiva Sitthanta philosophy put across in my very own mother tongue was like finding an oasis after being in a desert for too long. I really felt as if a new door had opened up for me. But little did I realize at the time that it was going to change my path, thoughts, and approach to life in so many ways. I would like to share some of the features of Saiva Siththantham that have touched me and attracted me. One of the main things is the one God philosophy that Saiva Siththantham emphasizes. I used to have many an argument about the need to pray to so many deities, and this really made sense to me, the one God philosophy. The logical explanations proving the existence of Padi, Pasu, Pasam, the three eternal entities. The logical arguments refuting other philosophies, highlighting their flaws and reaffirming that Saiva Siththantham truly can answer all our questions. The lack of differentiation amongst people due to their castes is one other attraction. The structured path set out to attain the Lord's feet, namely Sariyai, Kiriyai, Yogam, Jnanam, which will be explained during the forthcoming lessons. The deeper meanings of the Tirumurais, how it can be understood at different levels depending on how far down the spiritual path one is at. The way one's love and devotion to the Lord increases exponentially the more one learns and understands the Sitthanta texts or Mekanda Sastras and Tirumurais. The lives of the 63 Nayanmargal, which over and over again emphasize that true love and unwavering devotion will surely lead one to the Lord's feet and the state of Piravame or no birth. The exposure to Tamil texts, the opportunity to not only widen my Tamil vocabulary, but to also be bathed in the beauty of Tamil prose and poetry. All these and more I have gleaned from the teachings of this great philosophy. My day now starts with prayers to the Lord, and I derive strength from his holy ash and Aindaritha Mandiram. I am able to face what may come armed with these. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all my teachers who have guided me in this path and would like to pay obeisance to them. I would like to thank Sri Lasi Guru Mahasannidhanam for giving me this opportunity to share what I have learned in English to people around the globe. I urge all of you to join in the sessions and savor the divine experience that is Saiva Siththantham. Tiruchitrambalam.
Now, I invite our next guest lecturer, Mr. Sendil Kumaran, to address the gathering.
நமச்சிவாய வாழ்க, நாதன் தாழ்வாழ்க, இமைப்பொழுதும் என் நெஞ்சில் நீங்காதான் தாழ்வாழ்க. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். ஈராய் முதல் ஒன்றாயிரு பெண்ணான் குணம் மூன்றாய் மாறாமரை நான்காய்வரு பூதம் அவை ஐந்தாய் ஆறார் சுவை ஏழோசையோடு எட்டு திசைதானாய் வேறாய் உடன் ஆனான் இடம் வீழிம் மிழலையே. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். With all due respect and worship, I surrender my thoughts, words, and acts to His Holiness, the head of DHARUMAPURAM ADHEENAM. Thirudi Vanankirang Swami. With all due respect and love, I would like to express my gratitude to Revered Professor Arunai Palaravayanayya. All those profound personalities listening to me, including Oduvamurthy, Mr. Thiruvaranga Yayadi Ayya, I take this opportunity to express my gratitude and love to all of you. Dear adorable Saivite disciples, I deem the opportunity of speaking in this inaugural event of recommencement of Saiva Siththantham lessons through the medium of modern internet as a great honor bestowed on me by Lord Shiva. DHARUMAPURAM ADHEENAM has always been an important institution that has been continuously preserving the divine values of Saivite culture for decades after decades. I am aware that numerous Tamil scholars and Tirumurai reciters, Oduvar Murthigal, have been successful from this institution at all times. In continuation, the Adheenam is now recommencing its knowledge transformation activities to the world of Saivite by expanding its platform to the most popular, the most powerful, and the inevitable medium, the internet. Every aspiring Saivite around the world is now able to listen, to learn, to understand, and to lead a meaningful life with the help of Adheenam's such an effort, and hence the language English has been chosen to be a medium of teaching. I would like to touch a bit on Saivite lessons that line up in the near future. We are in a world of fast transforming phase. While various technologies emerge, surprisingly religious approach in lives has also changed. Such a change is acceptable in one way, but not to compromise any basic ethics of our origin. I'm afraid any aspiring Saivite may happen to compromise his or her own cultural values if he or she is not trained enough or not learnt enough of the philosophy of Saiva Siddhantam which he or she belongs to. How is Saiva Siddhantam going to help in balancing the worldly and divinely life of a person? In my opinion, it's merely depending upon one's understanding of two important aspects of life. One, what is the cause of life? What is the cause of life? And two, what is the purpose of life? What is the purpose of life? These two questions are very vital. These questions will further be elaborated in upcoming lessons before serving answers to them. Such an elaboration over the question itself will definitely derive the necessary answers within disciples, we believe. No matter which country we dwell in, no matter what language we speak, no matter what religion we belong to, and even if we do not believe in any religion or any principles, every single entity that we rely on, that we utilize, that we enjoy every day are merely bestowed on us by the one and the only one, the Almighty, which the Saivite philosophy concludes as Padi, the head of living and non-living things. The words living and non-living things is very common. These words are very common to us. Even a school-going kid can answer what is this. But when it comes into Saiva Siddhantam lessons, the same living and non-living thing will be split into three major categories based on its own individual properties, individual intellectual properties. Interestingly, the two will be split into three, namely Padi, Pasu, and Pasam. Pasu is the living thing that we just encountered. Pasam is the non-living thing that we have just seen. And suddenly, where is the third entity coming from? That is Padi. When we segregate the two major categories based on intellectual properties, we would be able to derive the third one. This is how the miracle happens in Saiva Siddhantam, which is interesting and logical in the first place. Whenever we are sad or we encounter problems in our life, we pray to God, we seek His grace to relieve us from the sadness at once, because we think that we do not deserve that. We do not deserve that. But we deserve, He knows, but we do not. Whenever we are happy, in the first place, we don't think of Him, and we believe that we deserve that. When it comes to a sad event, we believe we do not deserve. When it comes to a happy event, we believe we deserve it. Both wrong ideas. In other words, sadness we do not want. We want God to remove it immediately from us. Happiness we want. If we think of Him, we will not thank Him. Instead, we will go and ask him to extend the happiness with us. But when it comes to philosophy of Saiva Siththantham, it explains clearly, logically, that we do not deserve to have both experiences, the sadness and the happiness. Instead, it is explained that one should learn how to live apart from these two states of mind. How to live apart from these two states of mind, happiness or sorrow. One should understand that the mind's ultimate aim is to aim at the lotus feet of the Almighty, Lord Shiva. Training of Saiva Siddhantam in accordance to 12 plus 14 holy scriptures. The numbers 12 and 14 will be elaborated and the relevant materials will be discussed in the upcoming lessons, which makes it easy to lead our life in such a direction of simpler and more meaningful, and moreover, it's towards the top priority. The life becomes simpler, the life becomes more meaningful, and the life is driven towards the top priority, which is the most important part of learning Saiva Siddhantam. These are some simple examples or items I wanted to highlight, which we may expect to explore in the near future. And with that, I would like to pause here. As I said earlier, to be part of this noble initiative of getting Saiva Siddhantam over the internet to reach out throughout the world to those aspiring Saivite disciples, it's really a honor bestowed on me to be part of this team. Again, with all due respect and gratitude to the lotus feet of His Holiness Dharumapuram Adheenam, I thank all of you again. Tiruchitrambalam. See you all soon with Peruman's grace. Tiruchitrambalam.
Next, finally, I call upon Mr. Kalaichilvan Madhusudanan to deliver his speech.
விண்ணாளும் தேவர்க்கும் மேலாய வேதியனை மண்ணாளும் மன்னவர்க்கும் மாண்பாகி நின்றானை தன்னார் தமிழளிக்கும் தன்பாண்டி நாட்டானை பெண்ணாளும் பாகனை பேணு பெருந்துறையில் கண்ணார் கடல் காட்டி நாயேனை ஆட்கொண்ட அண்ணாமலையானை பாடுதுங்கான் அம்மானாய் சித்தம் தெளிவீர்கள் அத்தன் ஆரூரை பத்தி மலர்த்தூவ முத்தியாகுமே. வணக்கம் and a very good evening to you all. With the abundant grace of Sri Ajavanadana Kamalavasanta Tyagaraja Swami and the mercy of the 27th Gurumaha Sannidhanam of Dharumapura Adheenam Srila Sri Masilamani Desika Jnanasambandha Paramacharya Swamigal, on this very auspicious day of the Janma Nakshatram of Swami, we are really excited to be reinstating the Saiva Siddhanta classes that were conducted in English as a medium of instruction. Way back in the 80s, this system was conceived. Textbooks and study materials exclusively to be handled during these classes were prepared, and several hundreds of students across the globe were benefited by understanding Saiva Siddhantam in a language which is much more common. This initiative, like several other initiatives, have been a brainchild of Dharumapura Adheenam 30-40 years back. Now, with the increase in technological and communication equipments, the Adheenam has come forward to bring to the masses, to take to the masses, Saiva Siddhantam as a philosophy that which is common to everybody around the world. Irrespective of any barriers, language, whichever country you belong to, nothing is a barrier for an interested devotee to learn this philosophy, which is arguably the oldest and that which has evolved in a very natural, systematic pattern. This philosophy, owing to its inclusiveness, goes beyond barriers to impress thinkers around the world. We have several scholars, great philosophers, who've been brought to this fold by understanding the philosophy in a language that which they best know. Saiva Siththantham, though, has most of its texts in Tamil and Sanskrit, language should not be a barrier for anybody to immerse in this wonderful lifetime experience of understanding a Siddhantam that which is logical and scientific in approach. Hence, the Guru Maha Sannidhanam had come forward to devise a plan wherein the coursework, which is in line to the other courseworks offered in Tamil language by the Adheenam, is designed to be instructed through English. Though predominantly most of the works that we will be studying are from Tamil language, this coursework will be an introduction to the philosophy that which I am sure would sow in an interest to language Tamil at a later stage, and for people to once again understand the philosophy in Tamil language itself. Saiva Siddhantam is an evolving process. It has evolved over years and has been perfected by Acharyas during various times. The Vaidika Saiva Dharma, as it is called, has Vedas at its core, and the interpretation of Vedas in the most convincing fashion is what is seen here in Saiva Siddhanta. After the Vedas, we have the Upanishads, the Vedanta, which again is interpreted by various other darshanas to suit their philosophy. Saiva Siddhanta also includes the Upanishads and the definition of God, godliness, He being the master of the universe, and more. All of it zeroes down to worship Shiva as the ultimate power. He is the most prominent and He is the first god of this religion. After the Vedas and Upanishads, we have the Itihasas and Puranas, which are also included as Pramanas for Vaidika Saiva Siddhanta. One might wonder how Itihasas like Ramayana and Mahabharata, which generally speaks about Vishnu, can be included as Pramana to Shaivites. That is exactly where the logical reasoning quotient of Saiva Siddhanta tradition plays a vital role. Commentators deeply immersed in Saiva Siddhanta tradition have interpreted both these great works, Ramayana and Mahabharata, in a way that whenever Rama and Krishna, the heroes of these two epics, faced a crucial situation, faced a trouble, where in a situation where they couldn't find a solution themselves, they hurried to Sri Kailasha, the Kailasha Parvata, prayed to Srikanta Rudra, who is seated there, along with Devi, worshipped him, worshipped Shiva there to be blessed with a solution. There are so many events in these two works where Rama and Krishna have sought help from Parameshwara by performing Shiva Puja in various shrines. That is exactly why we consider Ramayana and Mahabharata to be completely Shiva-centric in the work which speaks about the Parakrama of Parameshwara. After these two works, we have the 18 Puranas, which to us is all included. Several other philosophies include a few, exclude a few, acknowledge a few, and do not acknowledge a few too. But here, a Saiva Siddhantin accepts all the 18 Puranas because at the end of the day, all 18 Puranas in one way or the other seek refuge in Parameshwara. These are all the common works that which is also borrowed by other philosophies, other Indian philosophies. So these are considered to be general Pramanic works, general works, that which also is the quintessence which helps us understand the Saiva Siddhanta. Then we have exclusive works which is more direct and clear, and these include, and this includes the Agamas. The the core of Shaiva Siddhanta lies in the Shaiva Agamas. 28 in numbers, considered to have been delivered as sermons by none but Sri Parameshwara himself. Shiva delivers lectures, all the 28 Agamas, to Devi. And from her, it reaches Nandi. And from Nandi to the Rishis, the Janakadi Rishis. From there, the Guru Parampara comes down also. Maikantar Santhanam, as we call our tradition, comes in this sacred, celebrated lineage, which starts from Shiva and Devi themselves. After the Agamas, we have the Tevaram and Tiruvachakam and all the other Tirumurais put together. The compiled anthologies exploring Bhakti as the central theme sings about the praise of Shiva, his Parakrama, Puranic episodes, his grace, his mercy, he blessing his devotees, the stories of so many devotees, temples, temple towns, Stalapuranas and more. The sacred triangle that we understand as the core of Shaiva Siddhanta tradition, the Pati, Pasu, Pasam system, or the three ultimate truth as they are called. The core of it is what is reverberated verse after verse in the Tirumurais. If the Tirumurais were too generic to understand, we have our Jnanacharyas, the Santanacharyas, starting from Sri Maikantadevar, who have given us not one or two but 14 great Shastras. Starting from Shivajnana Bodham, we have the 14 great Shastras which expounds the deepest meanings of Shaiva Siddhanta. One has to master all these texts in a lifetime to immerse completely in this ocean of nectar called Shaiva Siddhanta. Unfortunately, with the given times that we are in, with all the challenges that we have around us, commitments at professional level, personal level and whatnot, we are left with no choice but to give a very, very secondary treatment to religion and philosophy. It is extremely unfortunate, but by the grace of our Guru Maha Sannidhanam, they have come forward to help us even in such situations of challenge and have come out with a coursework that helps us understand this great system of philosophy with limited time. To fix into our time constraint and still learn Shaiva Siddhantam, this coursework has been beautifully put forward. As weekly courses, these are going to be conducted as a part of the everyday evening religious themed programs that which the Adheenam is conducting through online. When the world was facing COVID challenge, our Acharya had just taken up the responsibility of being the 27th pontiff of this age-old Dharumapura Adheenam, and I'm not sure the last 2 years when exactly did he took some rest, or when did he consider himself, or when did he think about himself. One or the other activity amidst all these constraints has been happening in our Adheenam. I'm sure every newspaper, every news channel here in Tamil Nadu speaks about the activities of Dharumapura Adheenam at least once every day. That is how many activities that's happening here. Kumbhabhishekams, reinstatement of several other dharmic activities, helping people during COVID, increasing the number of educational institutions under the divine control of Dharumapura Adheenam, ensuring that all the 27 great temples of Dharumapura Adheenam gets its Kumbhabhishekam done as soon as possible. Every other day there is a Kumbhabhishekam that's happening. All the festivals that have been conducted all these years, the magnitude of these festivals have been increased and have also been conducted with following strict COVID protocols as imposed by the government. If all that is not enough, the Adheenam has also extended his grace by conducting online classes. The Saiva Siddhanta Evening College has been reinstated last year, and already hundreds of students across the globe have been benefited after 1 year of coursework. The weekly programs every day between 5 to 7 p.m. Indian Standard Time, Dharumapura Adheenam news channel on YouTube conducts live discourses, Nadaswara Kacheris, musical discourses, music programs, Tamil literary works, speaking about temples, their greatness, and temple art forms and whatnot. Now he has come down to reach more people by eradicating language as a barrier. So he has chosen that these courses be conducted in English also to benefit people from outside the world, to benefit people from outside the country, I'm sorry. Here, language as a medium of instruction shouldn't be a problem to understand Saiva Siththantham. This is the core idea. So all the texts have been translated and study materials will also be circulated. Weekly classes will be conducted by several scholars and different topics will be attempted. A detailed coursework plan and other details will be circulated very shortly. The objective of these classes is to ensure that people get to know the philosophy at a beginner's level, then go on to learn the language also and study these works in its own native language. This should pave way for the interest in Saiva Siththantham, reach out to the Adheenam, take their Samaya Dikshay, start observing the Saiva Anushtanas, and over a period of time should reach a level where they also get their Shiva Puja Dikshay and start performing Shiva Puja. Guru Maha Sannidhanam, out of his grace, has been trying his best amidst all these constraints to take Saiva Siththantham to everybody. Please do be a part of it and be benefited. It's happy, and I should say it's a blessing from the Adheenam once again to appoint me also as a faculty amidst all other scholars here, and I'll try my best to propagate this philosophy through English. With that, I conclude my address for today, hoping to see you all more in numbers in the forthcoming classes. Murti ellam vaazhi, engal mono guru vaazhi, arul vaarthai endrum vaazhi, anbar vaazhi paraparame. Ellam Sri Tyagaraja Kripai, Sri Tyagaraja Maharajo Vijayate, Arura Tyagesa. Nandri, vanakkam.
I'm here to thank our 27th Guru Maha Sannidhanam, His Holiness Srila Sri Kailai Masilamani Desiga Jnanasambandha Paramacharya Swamigal, and our coordinator, our guest lecturers for this session. We invite all devotees to join this online course and make benefited. Do register yourself by clicking the link shown in the chat tab or in social media like Facebook and YouTube of DHARUMAPURAM ADHEENAM. Do subscribe and get updates about our DHARUMAPURAM ADHEENAM. Once again, I thank you all for your presence, and to God, Sivaberuman the Almighty, for his graces and blessings. And to finally end this session by reciting our divine Tirumurai hymn. For this, may I call our Tirumurai Kalanidhi Oduva.
கைலாய பரந்துரை சிவஞான சித்திரரிக்கார் வெண்ணை பயில் வாய்மை மெய் கண்டான் சந்ததிக்கு ஓர் மெய்ஞான பாம்புவாகி உயிலாரும் பொழில் கருணை வாழ் ஞான சம்பந்த குரவன் மேலாம் சைலாதி மரபுடையோர் திருமர நீடுமொழி தழையமானோ வான்விழாது பெய்க மலிவளம் சுரக்க மன்னன் போன்முறை அரசு செய்க உறைவிலாது உயிர்கள் வாழ்க நான்மறை அறங்கள் ஓங்க நத்தம் வேள்வி வல்க மேன்மை கொள்ளு சைவ நீதி விளங்குக உலகம் எல்லாம். நம பார்வதி பதையே ஹர மகாதேவா. என்னாருடைய சிவனே போற்றி, நாட்டவர்க்கும் இறைவா போற்றி, காவாய் கனகத்திரளே போற்றி, கைலை மலையானே போற்றி போற்றி.